little. Ryan Little.
What's up, people? What is up? What is up? What is up? Let's see something here. Bubby has walking kisses. He says, looking into getting to the Stadia dosage while I'm at work. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. It is your boy MM2K back again with another video. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Hold on. Why? I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. We were supposed to be ready to go, ready, set to be live and everything. I even had a carryover message on my other channel. That didn't work out as planned. Why? Because of technology. You know what I'm saying? Technology is that little magical wonder that never works the way it's supposed to, but that's okay. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to forward this out again to all my friends on Twitter. Let me see. And I also want to go here to this actual podcast that we're in right here. Since I got a lot of screens up, bear with me. I'm sorry, but we got a lot to go over because there's just a lot of crazy stuff. Also, big up to my friends over at Share Stadia. I usually use their RSS feed to provide news at the bottom of the screen here, and that's not working for some reason. Streamlit. Look, I'm gonna say this. Here's another reason why I love Stadia so much. Hey, Charles Aran, I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. You bring up a good point. I need to get a lot of this stuff out here on Twitter, get all my social media feeds and all that stuff out here so people are aware when I'm live and where they can catch me at. Let's see here. Okay, so we are at There is us right there. Here's what I want to do. No, 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 no. That's not us. This is us. I got a lot of stuff going on here, guys. Bear with me. I deeply apologize. But as I was saying, because of all these technical difficulties, it's hard enough because when you're working on a PC, there's so many variables that you got to take into account. Things don't work right. I have a 2070. And on my 2070, I have so many problems trying to stream stuff. It's like ridiculous. So that's another reason why we'll get into that. That's another reason why I love Stadia so much, because all I got to do is when I'm streaming, I open up my web browser, adjust the set, adjust, I really ain't just no settings, just the size of the screen on Streamlabs, and I'm ready to go. I ain't got to mess with bibblewatts and gigahertz. I ain't got to do all that silly stuff, right? But it looks like we're good to go. Got some things I want to share with you guys as well. But I'm going to do one more thing because there's no reason why. I'm sorry. There's no reason why my chat should not staying. I don't like that. Everybody know on Facebook. And if y'all can do me a huge favor, like I said, we're going to get started shortly. Do me a huge favor. Tweet this out. Let everybody know that we're live. Okay? Because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Again, we got this whole Awol status of Google, with everybody that's part of the Stadia family going, ape nuts over it. And I get it. We're going to talk about it. Let's see here. What else we got going on here? We got this whole VP9 thing. Big ups to my friends at Stadia Cast. I was watching them this past Sunday. And great show. Definitely check them out. Look for Stadia Cast. There's just so much great Stadia content out there. And it's a shame that despite all this great content, we got all these lies and stuff that you got to deal with. But it's par for the course, y'all. There's nothing we can do about it. We can sit there and whine and complain about it, but what's that going to do us? Nothing. It's not going to do us anything. I noticed how I think I got kicked out of a Stadia. Not letting me put, okay. I got kicked. I guess that I over spammed them. I got kicked out of a Stadia group. Oh, I love it. Hey, look, you got to fight the good fight, man. I don't mind it. Natives are getting restless. Yep, definitely. And I get that too. But we're going to talk about how, look at that. It's the wonders of technology. I tell you, I'm very, and I can say this because I don't parse my words for anybody. Streamlabs OBS is a piece of trash. It's garbage and it's a piece of trash. And the people behind Streamlabs should be embarrassed because this isn't like freeware. Like they're making people pay for stuff. And it does not work properly and it is never consistent. And that's why you see me tinkering with the background. I got to do a bunch of crazy stuff because this stuff does not work the way that it. And I literally spent 45 minutes instead of, getting everything curated and set to go. Always show message. That's what I want to do. Okay. Instead of curating, getting stuff ready to go, I literally spent 45 minutes tinkering with my ticker. I know that sounds a little suspect, but I was tinkering with my ticker feed at the bottom of the screen, trying to get that to work. And this is disgusting. But for those of you that follow my material, I don't mince words. All right, so we got everything out there on Twitter. We got everything out there on Facebook. Now it's just a matter of me getting into the chat room. You guys can see my pretty little logo. If I can. Show. Excuse me, Stadia Dosage. All right, there goes the chat. Bada boom, bada bing. Bada boom. Don't see it showing up. That's showing up on screen. What's up with that? Speaker. We're getting there, people. And I deeply apologize. We're getting there. Let me do one of these numbers. Audio. Blah, 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 blah. No, that's not working. I'm going to switch this back real quick. Okay, now we're back. Okay, now it wants to work. There we go. There we go. We knew you could do it. We did it. We did. I don't know if you guys saw the just a quick sidebar before we get started. I don't know if you guys saw the PS5 logo reveal at CES, where all of us, and me included, we thought that it was going to be, a little bit more details, at least go into the specs of the system, things like that. That did not happen, right? So all they did is reveal the logo. And I don't know if you guys saw the meme where the guy's basically on, I don't know what he's on. He's on one of those image altering programs. And he changes the 4 to a 5, and then the Door Explorer song comes on. We did it. We did. I don't know why that tickles me fancy. Me and my old fogey terms. I don't know why that tickles me fancy, but I replayed that thing 1,000 times over, cracking up each time I heard it. All right, guys, let's do this. Okay. So you see the title of the show. We got Google apparently going AWOL. We got VP9 encoding, which I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about that, and thanks to my friends at StadiaSource.com. And we got the 2020 lineup. That's kind of like a break from the Google going AWOL and why people, like my friend Charles Duran said, natives are getting restless. That's part of that, but I wanted to talk about that in detail. That's just me pouring my coffee. I'm ready to go. I was a little agitated because of Streamlabs, but I'm over it now. I'm now talking to you guys, so I feel a lot better. All right, let's get into it, guys. So apparently, people are upset because there has been no Stream Connect in months. Okay. Now, for those of you that are not aware, the Stream Connect is Google's way and the promise that they've had to communicate regularly with the fan base to keep them abreast of new games and new implementations and things that are happening. As we all know, Google's presentation or their outreach to the community has been lackluster at best, a cluster blank at worst. In the lead up to the release of Stadia and thereafter. So what they've decided to do is to put their heads down and burrow into bringing things out. Like we were here before about a month ago when we were like, hey, when the hell is Borderlands 3 coming out? When is, this coming up? We were supposed to get some more games in December. Like, what the hell is going on here, right? And then, boom, goes the dynamite. Out of nowhere, Stadia drops Borderlands 3. They drop Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and we're clapping like some baby seals, right? And everyone's happy, and I particularly was happy, and I'm still playing Borderlands. And for those of you that don't follow me on other platforms, Borderlands was awarded on my NRO podcast platform my game of the year. And I love it. And I have like multiple sessions on various different platforms. That's how much I love the game. But people are frustrated that there has been no Stream Connects. There's been no, constant communication with the community. They're frustrated the games lineup has not like grown. Like, we get it. There's like a standing list of games that are going to be out there, but like, is this thing going to grow? Like, this isn't it, right? This isn't good enough, rather, right? I would be correct in making that comment to a lot of people. This just isn't good enough. To be going into 2020 with just one marquee title. Now, Google could be chalking up another surprise. Okay? They could be chalking up another surprise, but we don't know because they haven't said anything. And people are just playing it safe. They're not going to, And this is what I love about this community. They're not just saying, hey, we like these people. They seem real nice. So and so Amanda or whoever from Stadia. We love Grace from Google. She's so nice and so courteous. Hey, look, she's a nice person. We like how they dress, whatever the case may be. So therefore, we trust them wholeheartedly. No, this community doesn't do that. Why? One of the biggest strengths of this community right now is that most of the people that stayed on to Stadia were serious tech enthusiasts or people that wanted to test out the system to report it. Now, I kind of fit in between. I say that because we got to keep it real here. We got to keep it real. And again, follow me. I'm very transparent. I'm not about, being two-faced as far as how I communicate things. I always keep things transparent and I always keep things factual, and we got to keep it real. Prior to that horrible AMA, everybody that's the vast majority of people that stayed on with Stadia purely and solely for gaming purposes, they canceled their pre-order. They did. I was going to be one of them. Believe it or not, truth be told, I was going to be one of them. I was happy with my gaming rig. I was happy with the cloud gaming experience that I got from GeForce Now. And then I said, I got my Xbox and my PlayStation. So the only thing that cloud gaming can do for me personally via Stadia, and this is my mindset at the time, not now, but the only thing cloud gaming can do for me is if I can play it on my phone and it's viable through the phone. Then I find out you got to get a Pixel phone. Then I found out that at launch it doesn't support 4G LTE. So you got to be connected to a Wi-Fi. And I said, well, that defeats the purpose for me. I mean, what I want to do is if I'm at the mall with my wife and I heavily use Uplay Plus on PC, and she's in Victoria's Secret like she normally is, spending up all of our darn money, right? My wife, we've been blessed, and my wife is I'll get the generic brand and my wife will throw up. She's one of those type, oh, that's the generic brand. And I'm like, it all goes down the same place, baby. Don't even worry about it. So my wife shops for regular undergarments. Not even anything, regular undergarments at Victoria's Secret. And as you can imagine, Victoria's Secret is very expensive. What I got to do, though, is I don't go in the store. I stand outside of the store and just make sure she doesn't go too crazy, So what I do is I'm like on my phone, but I would love to be outside of the store playing some Ghost Recon Breakpoint Division 2. I just imagine that. I say to myself all the time, damn, I wish I could do that. And that's what Stadia was going to provide for me personally. And when I found out that you had to be on Wi-Fi, and I know that if I'm at a mall and I'm on the mall's Wi-Fi, the bandwidth is going to be crazy garbage. You know what I'm saying? I have unlimited service through Cricket. Cricket is off the AT&T network. I loved it. It's fantastic service. So me not being able to use my own data and have to, and I'm hamstrung to using the mall's Wi-Fi service in that scenario. I didn't like that. I said, so this ain't for me personally. I'm literally getting this to test out all the cloud gaming services for benefit of the public. But when I game personally, I'm not going to be doing it on Google Stadia. That was my mindset. And then I got it in my hands. I got Google Stadia in my hands, and my mind changed drastically. I thought that the pinnacle of cloud gaming was going to be what NVIDIA GeForce was providing. And, with, a couple of kinks to smooth out here and there, but overall, a very good experience. The performance that I'm experiencing with Stadia is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Nothing short of phenomenal. is what I'm getting from Google Stadia. So now what has happened, opposed to me, opposed to me just saying, hey, retweet. Okay, we're live, just to let everybody know. Okay, now I can officially close that out. Yeah, come on, close it out. So now with me doing a full 180 and me saying, holy cow, this is great stuff. Hey, graphic guard, what's going on, Gigi? What's going on, man? How you been? With me saying this is a fantastic experience, and it's actually better than the experience that I'm having with my console. I mean, yeah, the 4K on my console is prettier, but I'm a PC gamer. I understand the full benefits of resolution, textures, and frames in the whole picture of fidelity. And frames weigh a whole lot more than resolution. Like if you got smooth frames, everything just pops. The experience is just so engrossing to where I'm willing to give up a little bit of resolution or sharpness because I'd rather have the frames. So being that I can game, again, with my game of the year, Borderlands, at a even 60 frames per second, and per some of the stuff I'm going to show you guys later, some of these cool plugins that was introduced to me per my friends at Stadia Source, big ups to them, I'm noticing that I'm shooting up to 67 frames. So that's why I'm like, wow, this is buttery smooth. It doesn't even hardly drop below 60 frames. On Xbox in performance mode, or console rather, let's just keep it in performance mode, you're lucky to hit 25 frames per second in performance mode. Performance mode is supposed to be 1080p 60. So then, after I'm getting this experience, I'm thinking like, I paid $500 for my Xbox. Yeah, I get to play with my friends. But being that I game on PC and I understand the totality of the ambiance, including resolution, frames, and textures, and I'm getting a better output and a better performance via Stadia, this thing was only $130. And I'm getting, and then for $10 a month, I can get the top tier resolution service. And I can take it anywhere on the go. And it works phenomenally on the go for where it's supported now. So just imagine when they fully support all phones on LTE. See, that's the one thing I'll say about Google. And this beckons back to a Mike Ybarra tweet. Mike Ybarra said, do not overpromise and underperform. Always underpromise and overperform. And I think Google at launch had promised all this stuff was there, but they waited till like the 11th hour to let you know, oh, this stuff is coming, but it ain't going to be there out the box. And that started the crap storm that we're seeing today. With that being said, they've learned their lesson and they are under announcing and overperforming, but are they doing it too much? That's the big question. But back to the point that I was making, and I'll bring this home and we'll continue on, is that that's one thing I'll credit Google with now, is that even though this is kind of bare bones to the grand full experience that they've announced, when they say they support something, it's supported and it works. In comparison to, and I hate to be picking on Xbox here, graphic card, cover your ears. But in comparison to Project xCloud, they'll tell you they support it, but it's not consistent, and it's not something that you can just pick up and say, ooh, I'm going to get this across the board. Some games work. Other games don't. Their marquee game of 2019, Gears of War on Project xCloud, is very unstable. It has the Tokyo Drift, I like to call it. I tap left, and my man's dancing in circles like Nancy Kerrigan on the ice rink. Like, what the hell are we doing here? That's not consistent. Hence why you've seen Xbox pull back on the whole we're going to reach the 2 billion gamers thing. Remember when Phil Spencer said in response to, hey, how many people are going to buy your next gen console? And he basically responded, it don't matter to me about how many people buy my next gen console because I ain't got to sell you a console. Meaning that we're going to put Project xCloud on an even kill or cloud gaming on an even kill along with PC to our console. And guess what? They've had to pull back on Project xCloud because now everybody wants to come out and tell you, yeah, Project xCloud is having latency problems, but they have a long-term solution for that. So and I bring that up to say this, as long as we know the truth, that's why me personally, hearing that these AMAs and they're missing from these connects, personally, it's not bothering me personally. But hold on, hear me out here. Hear me out. Because I see y'all in the chat. Hear me out. I'm just telling you how I am saying personally, and I'm going to transition to why, even though I feel this way personally, I get what you guys are saying out there. Personally, I'm happy with Stadia. I love looter shooters and expansive games. 1 or 2 of them will take up my whole time. Right now, I'm simply playing Borderlands 3, Ghost Recon. I play those games all the time. That's where 90% of my focus goes into before I got Stadia, and I'm just keeping it up. I'm just keeping up the rhythm. Then you throw on top of that Darksiders Genesis. Then you throw on top of that Rage. Now, Rage is great on console. I mean on PC. The problem with it though is it's a bad experience trying to play Rage on a 2070 and streaming. I've had all types of problems. Big up to one of my supporters, Rage and Not, on my Twitch channel. He's had to walk me through trying to get Rage to work on PC. But I don't play it on console because the 1080p 60 on console looks horrendous. However, on Stadia, and big ups to my friend Duncan of Stadia Source as well, he showed you pics where it looks beautiful on Stadia. So I get the performance, I get great fidelity, and it's going to look good in stream. So I'm chomping at the bits to play that and stream that too. So I love looter shooter and expansive type games. So my gaming portfolio is full. Also, Stadia provides me, like I said, the best streaming experience to date. I have a $1,300 rig sitting here. And it's giving me all types of problems trying to showcase the fidelity that it omits, because when I'm not streaming and I'm playing one-on-one, the computer, the games look beautiful. Jedi Fallen Order, all that stuff looks beautiful. It's just when I try to stream it, all hell breaks loose. Not with Stadia. I just simply open up a browser, select the game, boom. And y'all seen my streams? Y'all seen my streams. It shuts up the naysayers. They have nothing else to say. They actually confess their sins. I've had naysayers say, oh, that's Stadia? Oh, well, you know what? I really don't know much. I just ain't a fan of cloud gaming. So there you have it. And I got all my games on the cheap. Even though I double dip, I don't mind double dipping because what? I game on PC. So I got to double dip all the time. And I got Borderlands 3 and Ghost Recon Breakpoint for the price of one game, basically. And because of that, lastly, before I shut up and stop being selfish, 2K, lastly, I'm cool with the game lineups that are available because this is all I would be playing anyway until April of next year when Cyberpunk 2077 comes out, baby. So I'm fine. Here's the problem now. I get why everyone else is frustrated. I am MM2K. Here's where I can take my own personal bias and throw them in the trash can and work for the benefit of the community. I can sit here and tell y'all why I think the bee's knees, the G's geese, personally for myself, and be selfish 24/7 like the rest of these YouTubers. And I'm not going to do that. I consider myself a consumer advocate. And sometimes I advocate for stuff that I think people are overlooking for their own benefit. But that's just me. With that being said, even though I'm happy, people like my friend Duncan, I think Wingy Gamer, and a lot of other people in the chat have said, hey, what the hell's the updates? Because they've beat Borderlands and they're done. They tried Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Wasn't for them, they're done. They've beat Darksiders Genesis, they're done. You know what I'm saying? They're done. They need more. Everybody doesn't game like MM2K. And there are people that probably were in the same hat that I was. They said, oh, this is real bare bones. I don't expect much out of this. Then they got it in their hands and they said, wow, this thing has a lot of potential. Okay, I can dig it. Let's go. Where the hell are the games? And nobody's heard a thing from Google. If you play a high volume of games, this is disappointing. The lack of communication is not reassuring. And the lack of consistency. Hey guys, we're going to do these connects with you every month. And they're nowhere to be found. It's frustrating. I get it. Trust me, I get it. Let me go to the chat. Charles Aran says, radio silence usually builds to something. I thought Google would have done something at CES. Graphic God says, I'm just a gamer, bro. Okay. I appreciate it, Graphic God. But you know what you do with a lot of my propaganda and my anti-Xbox rhetoric everywhere else. Big ups to Graphic God and go to Xbox Gamer Tag if you're looking for a swanky new avatar. You see that avatar of mine? Guess who did it? My homie Graphic God. Gigi, let me know if you're a mod in this chat. Hold on, let me see. Let me go to the... Oh... Let me see here. I want to do this because, and grab all my logos and all my swanky stuff that you see has been created by Graphic God. It's my homie right there. Good friend of mine. We've done some great work together. I just need to hear. Let me go to my videos live. I want to make sure that you are indeed my friend. Okay. Can I go to my... Can't even get to my damn video. All right. I'm going to make Graphic God here a mod. And then I will make all of you guys that come and support me on a regular basis. All right. Everybody that comes to support me on a regular basis, whether it's this one, whether it's this channel or any other channel, make you a mod too. I'm not one of those people. Give me $20 in the Patreon and I'll let you be a mod for a month. No, we don't do that here. All right. So, I get it. I definitely get it. Can't. So, because of that, because of the frustration, the lack of consistency, the communication is not reassuring, and just the game output. Even though this is a early access, we know this thing works. We're amazed by its performance. It's like, let's go. It's like if somebody gives you a jolt or something, and they're like, all right, we're coming to work out. We're going to work out crazy. And you're like, I'm really tired, man. I don't feel like... Look, here, drink this. And you take a sip of it. You're like, what the hell is this green? You drink it, and boom! You're reinvigorated and you're full of energy. All right, man, let's go work out. Then you go hit the field and they're like, okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do, workout coach? All right, well, right now, the only thing I got for you guys is do 5 push-ups and then I'll see you guys later. That's what the Stadia experience is like right now. It's like, hold on, you got me invigorated. You got me excited. You were able to pump me up. I'm ready to play. Where's the games? Or where's at least the information, right? Here's what Google needs to do, though, in light of all that. First and foremost, I'm going to repeat what Mike Ybarra said. Do not overpromise and underperform. No longer do that. Don't talk about the 4K 60. Don't talk about anything that you are not doing or that is not in flight, ready to land. Now, what do I mean by in flight or ready to land? It's an industry term of mine. I deal with Fortune 500 companies. I've done so 20 plus years, analytics and a bunch of other stuff. I can't really get into all of it right now. Maybe one day I will. With that being said, we have an industry term, in flight, meaning when you have a project or you have an idea, you kind of shake it out. It goes through a committee. The committee says, we've kicked the tires. We've seen, all the risks that are inherent with that. I think this is a good idea. Let's scramble some people together. Let's get it in flight, get it in production, and see if this is something that we can fully implement in our BAU, business as usual, right? So people start getting the project working together. Again, it's not fully fleshed out, or it's not written in stone that you're going to make this thing. It's in flight, meaning you're working, you've dedicated resources to put it together to make it come to fruition, to see if it's something viable for what you're trying to accomplish, whatever it is. It's in flight. So true 4K or consistent 4K 60 is in flight. The streaming to YouTube is in flight. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? The sharing is in flight. You feel me? All that stuff that they heavily promoted, all that stuff is in flight. Do I believe that Google is going to keep their promise and make it come to fruition? Yes, I do. The problem is that it's in the horizon and you don't know when it's supposed to come. And a lot of people say, well, Google shouldn't have released it if that was the case. And I don't think so. I just think that their messaging was bad. Excuse me. I think what they should have done is they should have said, I was rude to me. I should have muted my mic. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm a disgusting fella. Anyway, with that said, what Google should have done is they should have said, and these are the capabilities that are coming. They should have been upfront and said, at launch, this is early access, but the perks of early access is this. They should have made some defined perks. Then once we roll it out to the public, it's really going to skyrocket. Here's the things that you're going to be able to do. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You see what I'm saying? And then they should have focused on, because it's evident. They should have been testing the system, looking at the competition and say, the perk of getting this thing day one, when it becomes available day one, is for a fraction of the price. You can play your favorite games, better performance than you can on their $500 counterparts. Our on-the-go network far surpasses the capabilities of anything that's out there right now. They should have known the moment that they heard that Project xCloud was working off of Xbox One S server blades. They should have known they had it in the bag as far as what would be better as a travel system. Should have known. So yeah, they muffed up the messaging, but I don't think, but they had to come out now in order to get user statistics and user data, because these new consoles is boasting 4K 60, 120 frames per second, and for them to keep up, they got to get user data to update their server blade. So they had to release now, and we're helping tremendously in that effort. They just got to give us some kickback. So here's what Google needs to do. Again, they got to not overpromise and underperform. Secondly, they got to stop doing these mass driblets of information then disappearing into the ethos. Okay? If you got your heads down and you're burning your heads down and you're getting stuff out to the masses, that's great. But stagger it. You have to stagger it. You should have a 3 to 6 month game plan as far as communication at a consistency level of once a month that you are going to be able to talk to people. And there should be a blog once a week just highlighting something. Highlighting something. This all should be mapped out already. Look, as a YouTuber, I have, and I see you in the chat, Charles. You brought up some great points. I'm gonna mention them in a second. As a YouTuber, I do shows Monday through Friday. Sometimes I'll do a show on a Saturday if my wife lets me, right? My whole week is mapped out. All the videos that I'm doing are mapped out. They're already pre-recorded in most cases. For those that follow me, you see me doing premieres. I started doing premieres because it allows me to leave comments in the video instead of leaving them private and just releasing them at a certain time. When I do a premiere, you know what's coming. You see my link, and if I'm linking to something else, like what I often do on my MM2K channel is, again, I'm trying to separate the two brands. I'm trying to separate the MM2K content where I talk about all the other console war stuff from the Stadia Source brand where my people like to talk about Stadia. Okay? A lot of people want to hear all of it, but some people just want to hear the Stadia. I'm very self-aware, not a problem. Okay? So what I do is I'll drop little videos in my MM2K channel to say, hey, there's more Stadia Source coming, stuff coming now. If you want to see it, you got to go here. Okay? All that stuff is mapped out. It's already done. It's done. All my videos for the rest of the week are done. Some of my videos for next week are done. They're already done. There are some things that are already done that are etched in stone that regardless of what the current events are, there are things that I want to talk to you about regardless of what the breaking story is going to be. So if something big does happen, that just supplements my content even further. That just allows me to say, ooh, well, because such and such broke, maybe I'll take that video that I'm releasing on Tuesday and I'll just plop that for Thursday. And we'll focus on such and such that happened today. Because the video that I have for Thursday, I can show it anytime. It's relevant at any time. It's time agnostic. Where there's some stuff, like if I talk about Sony's logo from CES 2 weeks from now, nobody cares. But there are some things, like when I talk about this VP9 encoder, it's stuff, it's timeless, is what I'm trying to say. So there should be, so the people at the richest company in the world, I know y'all hear me use that moniker a lot, and when I'm really trying to land base somebody, I use it. Because really it's between Google and Microsoft. They battle back and forth like every 3 or 4 months, right? Or every quarter. But the richest company in the world, Google, should have at least 2 or 3 points of data that they can stagger over a 3-month period. Well, this is what we're going to talk about in our Connect for January. And these 2 things we're definitely going to talk about in February. And these 2 things we're going to talk about in March. Or here, Grace from Google, you can do a blog about this next week. You can do a blog. And if something bigger even comes, then great. Oh man, we got a bunch of news for you guys this week. On a week where you don't have a whole bunch of news. Okay, well, we got a few things to talk about this week. You see how I did that? So they should be able to stagger a bunch of this stuff to where they have consistent news, and then they supplement it with bigger news as it becomes available. It's not rocket science. And it's not that hard. There gotta be at least 12 things that just pick some random games and talk about them. Just talk, you know what I'm saying? Just talk about some things. Destiny A, it's great. Destiny 2, implemented to such and such, and gamers were excited. Do a highlight on somebody. Go sit with some of your most staunchest, your most appraising gamers and do about 10 highlights and stagger them. There can be something that you can talk about, one thing you can talk about every week, and then you do a manifesto of information once a month. You could have 3 months worth of information available now. Don't do this to the people. Don't do this. The homie Charles Aran says, what's bad is supposedly selling in the next month or two. Oh, base is supposedly selling in the next month. They've gotten a bit better about ads and such. See all the screens and doesn't take up space ads. I've seen those, and those still don't do it for me, honestly, Charles. That's just me personally. When they launched this Stadia base, and thank you for that bit of information, I didn't even realize that it was going to come this soon. I was hoping for the sake of, look, here's what I say. If I'm Google, I'm not launching Stadia base until maybe a week or two prior to Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk 2077, I think, could potentially make or break the system. It can make it because, number one, it's the biggest game this generation. I mean, we're closing out this generation. It's likely the biggest game of 2020. The only thing that can rival it, and as far as attention is concerned, we know Call of Duty always is the de facto winner, but I'm talking about as far as attention, and mind share and critical acclaim. Cyberpunk 2077 is it. The only contender that it has is Last of Us, and that's the PlayStation exclusive, so they're not going to get that. But Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be the biggest game likely in 2020. And if they do this right, they can say, hey, why not get this game, you know what I'm saying, on the platform where it performs the best? Because I'm going to tell you this much. I saw the console versions of 2077 that were shown more recently. A lot of you probably have too. You talk about downgrade? That thing looked like a ball of wax. And I'm not saying that just off of resolution alone it's going to look better on Stadia, but you're going to get those frames. I don't think Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be optimized at launch on consoles. I think you're going to run into a similar scenario that you ran into with, what do you call it? That you ran into with, with Borderlands. And I'm curious. Let's look up something here. Let's do this. Is Cyberpunk 2077 partnered with AMD? This could. Look at that. Look at here. Oh, boy, look at here. You see that? Do y'all see that? Cyberpunk 27. Let's look at this article. Wow. Cyberpunk 2077 is partnered with NVIDIA. Brings ray tracing to hugely anticipated game. So, I am, because of that, and again, this ain't 100% science, so don't, this is me with my tinfoil hat on. Because of that, and I see you, Jacob Holloway. According to Charles, they are going to be launching base soon, within a few months. I don't think there was an official date. Charles says they were doing blogs before the holidays. They were like a soldier in the trench popping up, unloading and dropping. Yeah. So Cyberpunk 2077, I think, comes out in April. Here, let me do this. Let's do this. Let's go to my friend's website at Stadia. Source. Great site, y'all. Great site. Now it's to be announced. I thought it was April. It says to be announced here. Uh-oh. Because the last time I checked, I thought it said April there. 2077 release date. Stadia. Well, it says Cyberpunk 2077 will release April 16th, 2020 for PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation. The Google Stadia will launch the same year. So I don't know. Oh, man. Oh, no. See if we can tools. Let's settings. Tools. Anytime. Let's see if we can got past month. Is there anything new? Okay, so according to PC Gamer, it says when is the release date delivered to us by Keanu Reeves in the flesh. It's coming to PC and Google Stadia. Pre-orders have, so it looks like that it's going to be 2020 April 16th. Let me do one more thing. I know we're doing this live on air, y'all. But hey, the people want to know because, again, this is going to be the biggest game. Okay. And let's go. Yeah, they don't say when. Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, they don't say when. They don't say when. So we don't know when. Not deeply, but see, that's big. This is big. Cyberpunk 2077 and NVIDIA partnership brings rate. So because they're partnering with NVIDIA instead of AMD, and all of the chips that are in the consoles are AMD consoles, my tinfoil hat analysis, take it with a grain of salt, is that there's no guarantee that this is going to be optimized for consoles that well. I mean, damn. Look at Borderlands. Borderlands 3 partnered with AMD, and look how crappy that came out. And we know how CD Projekt Red is with their games at launch. At launch, CD Projekt Red is not known for having the most optimized games. They're not as bad as Ubisoft, but you know, they're running close. Their games come out glitchy, and then over the course of time, they do a phenomenal job of cleaning it up. But Cyberpunk 2077 is not guaranteed to be running great on the console. I doubt that if you even get a performance mode. I don't think there's going to be a performance mode. CD Projekt Red is not known for that on consoles. So I think what's going to happen is, this is why I say this is where they can make Stadia. If the biggest game of 2020 releases on Stadia simultaneously, and they can boast better performance, man. And Cyberpunk 2077 is a game that you're going to want to play on, like around 60 frames per second. It's a very fast moving game. That game is going to feel great at 60 frames per second. That's going to be a game that a lot of people are going to stream. So just imagine that if people are pulled into Google Stadia, either the base model or the pro model, you can get Cyberpunk 2077 on the base model. Just play at 1080 60. You know what I'm saying? And especially if you're a streamer, right? Especially if you're a streamer. If you're a streamer and you just have a console, or you don't have a rig powerful enough to burst out that 60 frames per second at good fidelity, buying Cyberpunk, all you got to do is just decide to purchase Cyberpunk 2077 off of Stadia. And you're going to get great performance that you can stream as soon as you buy it. As soon as you hit buy, boom, open up your browser, boom, let's go live. Ain't no downloading. Ain't no clearing up no space on no hard drive. It's boom, buy, boom, go live. That can be big. That can be big, and that can change the game for Stadia in 2020. Where it can kill them is, A, it don't launch at the same time. If it launches like a month later, oh man, whoo, that's going to be a hurt piece. If they don't, regardless of when the launch is, if they don't get behind the messaging properly, if they don't say, hey, look, this performs better, if they leave it up to me, MM2K, who for every MM2K, there's 5,000 naysayers. If they leave that up to me, it's a blown opportunity. So that's what needs to happen. They have to get better at communicating their message. They have to ration out their message consistently. And they got to show an effort on promoting their games and getting more games in the service. If Google can do those three things, I think a lot of people will be satisfied. Do you agree? Let me know what y'all think about in the chat. Speaking of the chat, let me go to the chat. So, let's see here. Let me, what am I doing? Why am I trying to read it from there? Jacob Holloway said, did they announce when the base is launching? No base announcement yet. Charles responds, yeah, just what devs are saying. Soundwave 1, big up to Soundwave 1. He says Cyberpunk did get its first reveal on Microsoft Stage, so hopefully it will play best on the Xbox One X. If you're talking about in comparison to PlayStation, yeah. But it's not just because of the architecture. That CPU is a bottleneck. It's not playing better on Xbox. It's not going to perform better. Now, will the combination of performance and its visual output, will the overall benefit of that output be grander on Stadia? That's yet to be seen. But they already got the 60 frames per second thing in their bag. The question will be, will it perform good enough on Xbox where people will say, you know what, this looks good enough. So why, I'm not even going to invest in another ecosystem, streaming or not. But if there's that great of a if there's that great of a gap between the frames per second on Stadia, which we know is going to be 60, and the frames per second on Xbox, like if they're hovering around a sub 30, there you go. Zero Games for me says, I like Stadia, but I'm a little disappointed that because I use the Chromecast Ultra on the 1080 TV, I get a blurry image compared to my consoles and PC. Should use super sampling like Xbox One X. I'm going to get into that. My experience on my 1080 TV is a little bit different. It's not, it looks fantastic on my 1080 TV. This is what I do. I set it to 4K. I set it to the highest setting, and then I play it on my Chromecast Ultra. And to me, it feels like there's some super sampling coming on when you do that. I think there is. That's my experience, even on the browser. I feel like that it's doing some super sampling a little bit. Now, will the super sampling on Stadia look just as it'd be a 1v1 match Or will the fidelity, the resolution be a 1v1 match as a dedicated device, particularly the Xbox One X? No, it's not. But what you get is, you get a combination of very good resolution with better frames. And again, as we all know, them frames matter. So if it's blurry for you on a Chromecast Ultra, that's amazing to me. You might want to calibrate your TV. I'm working off an older Sony TV, bigger one. It's a 70-inch Sony TV that I have, 1080p TV. And, you know, the bigger the TV, the blurrier it will look. And it looks fantastic on mine. What I do is I just go to the highest data setting and then I play on my 1080p TV. So, I'm experienced. It's great there. I don't like gaming in 4K, particularly when it comes to Borderlands, because the 4K mode puts you at 4K 30. And I just can't do 30 frames per second with Borderlands. I can't do it. So I like gaming on the 1080 mode, and I like putting it at the highest setting. And again, from my experience, I kind of get like the super sampling effect. To me, that's what it feels like to me. But then we're going to get into that too, Zero Games for me. We're going to get into something else that you could do to make your experience even better, particularly on a browser. All right. But that's my suggestion. Check your settings. I mean, I'm imagining that you're gaming. I imagine that you're gaming on the same TV with your ex, right? And if that is the case, what you may want to do is go into your display settings on your phone and turn off the HDR. That could help. Or maybe turn it on. That could help. See, Stadia has a different GUI and it operates a little bit different. So you don't make adjustments the same way that you would on a console or a dedicated device. So there might be a couple of things, a couple of modules that you might have to turn off or turn on. First and foremost, and go to Stadia. Who did that video? I think it was Stadia Source. Check out Stadia Source. It might be even share Stadia. Somebody dropped a video showing you how to optimize your settings either on a Chromecast or a browser. And I was like, wow, golly. And there's some settings in your Chromecast Ultra that you might have to adjust to. Yeah, Ashes to Ashes says, yeah, really looking forward to the 4K update on browsers. Yeah, that's going to be a big one. That's definitely going to be a big one. It's just for me, I have a 4K monitor, 60 hertz monitor. I'm going to be reluctant to use that. It'll be great for streaming. I'm going to be reluctant to use that on games like Borderlands because I'm wondering if I set my monitor to 1440p though, how that would look. So maybe I could do that, and would it still be 30 frames or 60 frames? See, that I got to find out. So I'm with you on that one. Yeah, but that's what Stadia has to do. Stadia definitely has to do those three things. They have to get better at being consistent with their messaging. They have to ration out their messaging, and they can do that. Like I said, I'm a simple YouTuber. I love you guys, but I got 10 people in my stream right here on this platform, and I do a better job at rationing out my information. So they got to get better at that. And I get you got to be self-aware. And I think Google maybe is aware that, hey, we bungle messaging, so let's just put our head down, burrow down into the hard work and get it done. But you can't forsaken mind share. It's a war out here. It's a war out here. And that's a perfect segue into my next point. But the last thing they got to do is they got to highlight the clear-cut benefits that they're presenting now with games. Don't underperform and overpromise. Tell us what your benefits are now. The frames, the ease of use, the better platform for streaming. Highlight that now, and you better be ready to go to be locked and loaded on that message when Cyberpunk 2077 comes out. because that's gonna be the tell of the story for 2020. Period. But what I said earlier, as far as it's a war out here, that's a perfect segue into my next point. What is that point? I spoke of what Google needs to do, but it's time for us to have, for lack of a better term, it's time for us to have our coming to Jesus moment. I spoke of what Google needs to do, but now let's talk about what we need to do. And yes, we have to do something. This is where we have our coming to Jesus moment. This is where the rubber has to hit the road. Okay. This is where we got to put our pitchforks down a little, just for a moment, and look in the mirror and do some self-reflection. Because we haven't done our job. We haven't. Now hear me out. Hear me out. This is some tough love. Hear me out. The fact of the matter is, Google will only gain support if companies like CD Projekt Red, like Activision, who hasn't shown that they will support the platform yet, and others, feel that the extra work that is necessary to port their games over or build their games from the ground up on Stadia is going to be viable and financially rewarding. This is a business at the end of the day. Okay? And if it doesn't make dollars, then it doesn't make sense. Now that becomes something that is a focal point in the mind of these companies of whether they're going to wholeheartedly or full-throatedly support Google. It becomes more evident when there's more vocal interest. Right now, there's a bunch of lies. We got Tom Warren out here telling stuff. We got Paul Tassi trying to play funny with his words in his last article about Destiny on Stadia. We got a lot of funny. And then the multitudes of people that are out there that have not experienced Stadia, but tell additional lies and spread them all over the internet. We have to simply be more vocal against the lies to help grow that interest. And some of my people that are listening to this right now that play on Xbox, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I mean, look, I'm gonna keep it real. I know I say that thought, but I'm gonna keep it real. Even though I have my quarrels and my qualms against Xbox right now, as far as this generation is concerned, despite all the stuff with Phil Spencer and the fact that I do not like the direction that he's taking the platform at all, I did not come to Xbox for this. And you talk about y'all mad about some empty promises? Don't be an Xbox fan. Despite all that, when it comes to my personal taste, I look at the Xbox One X, I look at the PlayStation. Xbox has a lot more to offer me. Most of the games that I enjoy this generation, most of the overwhelming majority of the time that I spent gaming, I spent on what? Multiplats. And simply put, the multiplats perform better on Xbox. I love their controller. And even though games like Call of Duty and stuff, people are playing it fine on PlayStation Online, the whole PlayStation Online community just isn't as robust, you know what I'm saying, and as active online like how the Xbox community is. But I get it, at the end of the day, they say we don't care about that. We just want to play games. We won't care about that. But for my own personal taste, Xbox has had more to offer. With that being said, even when I was on the fence about what they were providing this generation, and I was making that argument, like, I get it why more people may want PlayStations, but it's not like Xbox has nothing to offer. to anybody. Like if you're a casual gamer, and casual gamers, the most casual of them, they just play Call of Duty and NBA 2K. You're going to get the best experience on Xbox. Unless it's all about where your friends play. And that is a deciding factor. But if you're not one of those gamers that are like, oh, my friends play here, so I got to be with them, and you just want the best individual experience with a multiplayer, you're going to get it from Xbox, period. When it comes to the two. But you would think that games crash as soon as you load them up, that lava shoots out from the CD bay, and that imps fall from the sky when you boot up your Xbox. The way that the media has been and the way that people in the console war community have been. And despite efforts from Xbox doing various things and Phil being the nicest guy on earth, and at that DICE event a couple of years ago that really opened my eyes, he praised PlayStation's output more than he did his own. Or no, not their output, their franchises. More than he does he praised their marquee franchises more than he done his own. By him doing that, he still can't get a break. He still can't get a break. So if you're a fan of Xbox, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's not always fair out here. It don't matter. It is, you got to live in reality. You can't live in what ifs, or I wish. And the reality is, it's a war out here. This has been one of the most contentious and most grueling generations ever in gaming. Gaming has been flipped on its head, and it's less about we and more about I. I bought a PlayStation. That's the best way to play. Anybody that plays on anything else is a fool. I like Xbox. I love Phil Spencer and his limbo shirts. He's a cool guy. Anybody that likes any other execs and plays on any other consoles, they're fools. That's the mind state of the gamer right now. And they spend a lot more time bickering on Twitter than they do actually playing games. So because you have that dynamic, there's nothing you can do, baby. You got to fight. And I'm telling you, Stadia community, I love you guys. You guys know how to put the feet to Phil Harrison's, put the fire to Phil Harrison's feet. You know how to be vocal, but Phil don't fight back. Y'all need to get out here and y'all need to do a better job of combating these lies out here. Because like it or not, gaming now is a two-pronged war that relies heavy on its enthusiasts for the ground game, aka mindshare. Now, what I've seen in light of the horrible AMA that Google did and all the droves of console warriors, the armchair quarterbacks, what I've seen them do is, in light of all their bibble babble and all their falsehood and all their lies, what I've seen y'all do is I've seen y'all retreat. They did a pootie tang. They snatched the belt from y'all waist and whipped y'all with it, and y'all ran away with your pants around your ankles. And that's not going to work, because that's not how console advertisement works. Now, it's a shame that it's like this. Yes, I've been gaming for 30 plus years. A lot longer than a lot of my listeners have been alive. I've been gaming for 30 plus years. So I get it. I am embarrassed at what gaming has turned into. I'm embarrassed at what the younger generation has done to how mindshare is gathered. I am embarrassed, and I find it disgusting and repulsive, the grounds in which people are considered quote-unquote gamers. But it is what it is, and there's no escaping it. Google wasn't ready for the state of gaming, and therefore they got slapped in the face, and they stumbled, and they're trying their best to recover. And it's a shame because they're a multi-billion-dollar company, damn well the richest company in the world. But you, on the other hand, if you love this platform, if you know this platform has promise, and you know people are attacking it fraudulently, don't run away. What I've seen you guys do is y'all have abandoned Twitter, you've abandoned the surface, y'all done ran to Reddit, and y'all sit in your own little bubble, and y'all argue amongst yourselves, and then you go out and fuss to Phil Harrison. Where's this? Where's this? Where's this? And the fact of the matter is that even if he wanted to in a lot of cases, some things just aren't coming to fruition because companies are just sitting back and they're watching and they're seeing. And Google Stadia just isn't the most popular thing to support right now. Now I get it. MM2K is bombastic. I don't care. I'm like 300. I don't run away. I will out-argue and battle anybody. But that's MM2K. I'm not telling y'all to do what I do. But being in your bubble turns us into a pseudo Xbox company. Cover your ears, graphic god. What I mean by that is, or community, not company. My Xbox brethren have no ability to connect to the average gamer and know how to communicate with them and say, hey, look, it's actually good on this side for these reasons. They're out here chasing bibblewatts and gigahertz like that's going to win them the generation or make things better for them next gen. And it's not. It looks nice in the newspaper. It looks nice in the magazine. But the average gamer wants to see the games. And they want to make sure that their friends are seeing the games too and their friends will come over. And they've been in a bubble so long because they've been viciously attacked in the same fashion that when they come out for air, they don't know how to navigate. A lot of them didn't learn from the Xbox One X release. And don't get me wrong, I love my Xbox One X as far as a console. I loved it when it was useful for me. It was the greatest experience that I could get in a console format. But that's me. I completely understand why, in hindsight, why people would not leave the library that they've already built up, the place where all their friends were at now, leave that to go pay $500 for a console where it ain't guaranteed that everything is going to look better than everything else on the other console. Hell, few months after release, God of War comes out on a $200 console and looks better than anything on a $500 box. And my friends at Xbox still don't get that. They're talking about this 12.7 teraflops in the gigahertz. Sony can do wonders with 9.2 teraflops. They did wonders with 1.8 teraflops versus 6. That's the bubble that they're in. And you run the same risk of being in the same bubble when you run away with your tail stuck between your legs. Now, again, MM2K is bombastic in his approach. Even if you don't directly, I directly go after people. That's just what I do. If you're going to have the audacity to lie, then you need to have the audacity to stand up and defend your lie. Several weeks ago, Tom Warren, big figure, senior editor at The Verge. Nobody knows who I am. Besides 9 people watching the stream right now. And I appreciate all of y'all. I love y'all. But nobody knows who I am. Everybody knows that games knows who Tom Warren is. That follows gaming culture. Tom Warren, several weeks ago, went on Twitter, went on a tirade for clicks, dogging Stadia. Somebody respectfully responded to Tom and said, Tom, what are you talking about? It has something to do with Destiny and the game playership of Destiny going down. Somebody said, hold on, what are you talking about? Tom, this doesn't even make any sense. for these factors alone. Borderlands came out, Ghost Recon came out, newer games came out. Everybody don't like Destiny. That's the game that we were stuck with. More popular games for 2020 came out. I did a video a couple days ago, check it out on this channel, where I showed you that everybody just don't like Destiny. It's a very popular game, but it doesn't have broad appeal. For the simple fact that go on Metacritic. Look at the user ratings. Games like Borderlands, Red Dead Redemption that take up a lot of time, people prefer those games over Destiny. Me, as someone that loved Destiny, played it every damn day when the first one came out, didn't so much like 2, abandoned it, abandoned it, did that several times. I'm confused. I can't even get into Destiny all like that. So when these factors were presented to Tom, Tom was like, well, I mean, he was bibble-babbling about a bunch of stuff. Then he went and lied and said that it made it sound like that the $10 tier option that we were talking about earlier was no longer available. I mean, or the $10 tier option was your only entry point into Stadia. That there wasn't going to be a free option. So what do we do here at the Stadia Dosage? For those of you that don't follow my content, here's what we did. We simply took Tom's tweet, we retweeted it, and we included Google, and we said, breaking, according to Tom Warren, the Google Stadia free tier will no longer exist. We are waiting upon word from Google Stadia to confirm this. News at 11. Right? Wasn't disrespectful, but I put him to task for what he said. Now, I did it more direct, and I'm not telling y'all to do that. But y'all need to pull y'all pants up from y'all ankles, and y'all need to stay around, and y'all need to fight these lies. Now, Paul Tassi the other day, he was on some slick stuff, and he created a Destiny thing that said, oh, Destiny 2-playership is shrinking, and it's unsustainable. He knew what he was doing. But if you read the column, he actually had some truths in the column. There's nothing concrete here to determine why this is happening. We don't know. But in that title was flabbergasting enough that it fueled the console warriors. So he knew what he was doing. But I went and created a video. I called Paul Tassi out by name. And I called him out on his foolery. Now, again, I'm not saying that you guys have to do exactly that. But when you see lies, you need to call it out. Here's this article talking about Destiny shrinking by 58% of playership. And the title alludes to that's the shrinkage of the player engagement on Stadia altogether. When there's no way where Destiny 2 can be used as a feasible litmus. Here's why. Blah, 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 blah. Y'all ain't got to call these people out by name. Leave that to MM2K. I'll do that all day, every day. Because what I did with Tom Warren and what we did at Stadia Dosage needs to be done, but it ain't got to be done by everybody. Certain people have certain roles. But by us doing that, he blocked us, which meant that tweet did something. And several days later, he actually said that he uses Stadia on a regular basis, and Stadia's good. And now what you're seeing is a lot of the people, some of which that we focused on at the Stadia Dosage, that were every day throwing out goofy, crazy stuff. They're pulling back. And we still got some others. Dreamcast guy's been under my radar before. I'm just waiting for him to pull something. Yong Ye's under my radar too. Yong Ye is ripe for the picking. We got something lined up for him. But y'all ain't got to call these people out by name like how I'm doing. Just bring up the article and break it down on why it's false. So other people, other Stadia people, like my homie Charles and everybody else that's watching the stream can say, oh, that's a lie. Check out this video. It breaks it down. You know somebody that did that? Big ups to my homies at Generation Stadia. They created a video that exposes the over-the-top nature of sites like Google Graveyard. Google Graveyard shows you about 600 different applications or whatever that Google has gotten into that they've killed. But my homie at Generation Stadia pointed out the vast majority of those things are things that the brand was killed and repurposed as a different brand, or they were just little tinker type of things that nobody uses anymore. Like Picasso is on that list. Picasso may be gone, but now it's Google Photos. And the photo Google application isn't gone, but sites like Google Graveyard are not going to tell you that. So we need more outlets to do what Generation Stadia did. Point out the lies. Like it or not, these problems are not going to be solved alone by y'all just running the field and saying, Phil, where's this? Phil's, where's that? Phil's, where's that? Y'all got a job to do too. This is a two-pronged war. I'm sorry. It's repulsive. It's disgusting. It's disappointing that it's this way, but this is the way that it is. There's a reason why these games ain't coming. Google they don't develop these games, they just provide the platform. So if the games ain't coming, guess what? The developers ain't bringing the games. And they ain't bringing the games because they test the temperature. Is this worth our while? Will this really lead to anything? Are we going? Do we stand more to lose or to gain dealing with Google Stadia? Google Stadia is like a pariah in the gaming culture right now. Do we even want to be associated to them? Some people have said, yeah, we're going to continue to support. Some people may be hesitant. But we can change that narrative. And Google has, and I'm not saying this rests all on our shoulders. This is a two-pronged war. Google has to do better at this. They definitely do. But we got to do our part. Everybody else is fighting the war for their platform. And y'all done ran off to Reddit. Y'all done ran off. Look. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me blow my nose real quick. I done got so excited. I got phlegm shooting back up my nose. Hold on. Here's the thing, y'all. You may be aware that I don't just do Stadia. I just don't do Stadia stuff. Okay? I came on the scene 2017, crispy and clean. I just had to say that. I'm sorry. Here's what put me on YouTube. I've been gaming for 30 plus years. I love video games and I love video game culture. At some point in time during my tenure as a hobby, I was part of a group called the New Age Faction, and we did, video game articles, real small publication, went nowhere. But it was a lot of fun doing what we did, right? Took a hiatus from gaming because work was being demanding, came back, started playing games heavy again. Last generation, I was playing games heavy. Most gaming I've ever done in my life was last generation. That's even before I ran into Destiny. Destiny just made it even worse. Then I was satisfied with my 360 because I played nothing but Destiny. Me and my friends were grinding out on Destiny all the time. Then I wasn't going to get a next generation console. I said I saw nothing from the next generation console that's unique, that's groundbreaking, that's innovative like what I saw from the 360. Or even from what I saw that PlayStation 3 was attempting it. It seems like to me that they're playing it safe and they're just focusing on bibblewatts and gigahertz and visuals and stuff like that. And before I go pay all this money for a next gen console, I might as well go build me a gaming rig. And that's what I did. I built me a gaming rig in 2012. And the first game that I got for that gaming rig, I built it late 2012, and the first game that I got for it was BioShock. You know, sat around for a little bit, and then I went and picked up BioShock Infinite. Didn't really like the game, even though I love the BioShock franchise. Didn't really like BioShock Infinite, but the performance on the game is something that I've never experienced gaming. Like that 60 frames per second was just fantastic. I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I'm not getting a next gen console. I'm getting a rig. But then I discovered Destiny and I fell in love with Destiny. And then I found out that Destiny was forcing people, in order for you to get new content, they were forcing you to go get a next gen console, which was smart on their behalf for the viability of the game. Then you couple that with the fact that Destiny wasn't on a PC. So then I took the money that I was going to invest to increase my rig going into the next generation, and I got me an Xbox One. And I started off primarily just playing Destiny, but then I shied away from Destiny and went over to The Division. So The Division was like the game that I was playing the most. And then I was playing a lot of 2K15. And, you know, so there were only like a handful of games that I played, you know, throughout the tenure. All during this time, I'm hearing, PlayStation is killing it. This is before any of their games came out. Like when around the time frame when Andrew House said it's sparse. He's like, hey, and they're like, oh, these games are killing it. These games are fantastic. Oh. And I'm like, you're getting an extra 180p. It's not that serious. Because I played both of the systems at GameStop with the manager, one of the managers there that was a close friend of mine. I was like, dude, I don't see this difference. You know what I mean? And this isn't 60 frames per second. Trust me, I game on PC. I know what 60 frames per second are. On some of the smaller games, you're getting the 60 frames, but you're not getting it consistently here, right? So, I was like, whatever. Went back, continue playing The Division on the console, and then Horizon Zero Dawn comes out, and Uncharted 4 comes out. You know, relatively close. And people, these are the greatest games ever. Now, my experience with PlayStation games, I'm not the biggest PlayStation fan. So I said, well, let me get these games and see if they're really great. And I started off on YouTube with something called the MM2K experience, something that I call it. And I finally bought a PlayStation 4. I was going to try out these games and see if these games were any good. I didn't really care for Uncharted 4. Horizon Zero Dawn, I think is one of the most lackluster gameplay loops that I've ever played from PlayStation. So then I said, this is all rhetoric. And I started my YouTube channel, and that's how I hooked up with Next Gen 720. From formerly of BGST, and then, you know, he formulated the Broadband Bullies, and I ended up joining the Broadband, or he accepted me in the Broadband Bullies. It's not like it was like, here's I'm MM2K, I'm joining it. Z gave me the opportunity, you know what I mean? And I'm very thankful and blessed for it. That being said, it was when I joined the Broadband Bullies, when Z accepted me, that I saw how deep this war is. All right. I saw how deep the war is. I saw how thick the rhetoric was. I started to see how out of control things were getting, because people were just trying to validate a purchase. Some people, and then you had some people that were staunchly defending PlayStation or defending consoles that they didn't even have. I said, wow, this shit has really gotten crazy. This thing is, excuse my French, I'm sorry. This thing has really gotten sick. So I had to fine tune my game a little bit because I'm all about facts and information. And it wasn't about facts anymore. It was all about who had the more engaging and entertaining argument. Now, some of you are probably thinking, why would you conform to that? Why would you conform if you didn't like that and you don't think that gaming should be? Why would you conform? Here's the thing. I didn't conform. I had to survive. This is what gaming mindshare has turned into, like it or not. This is what it is. I call them the outrage culture. I didn't coin that phrase, but I like to refer to them as the outrage culture, or even, to be even a little bit more frank, I call them the idiot herd. The internet is filled with people who just want to belong. Like I said, in me doing this, I discovered there are so many people that are capping for consoles that they don't even have. And they want to be part of the popular crowd. So they go click on articles, find this, find statistics, find Bibawatts gigahertz, and they tweeting it back and forth, and they're not playing any damn games. And that's what influences, and because these people are in the trenches every day, that's what influences IGN, that's what influences your GameSpots, that's what influences your Tom Warrens, and that's what influences your Paul Tassies. Those people curate the type of stuff that the mainstream people report on nowadays. More and more people are leaving the mainstream sources and they're going to YouTube and they're listening to these people. So they define the perception of whatever platform is out there, like it or not. So I had to survive. If I wanted to continue my message of being fact-based and being transparent, I couldn't just sit there and be like, well, Xbox One X is only lacking an extra 180p and this and that. Because I was getting slaughtered out there. It doesn't work like that anymore, and it's a shame, but it is what it is. And the fact of the matter is that Stadia, as far as its performance, provides a way better ecosystem than a console at this moment, even in early access. But everybody's out here lying about it like it's the complete opposite. Now, as far as the total package, yeah, they get outdone because they ain't got the games. But the games are only going to come again when these companies that make the games, Google don't make the games, they write the checks. But if they're sitting there saying, hey, look, overall financially, we're better astute by not even taking that check from Google. We don't want to be stained by that name. Look at their public perception. This is horrible. We're not making crap for that console, for that ecosystem. As long as that's the norm, we're not getting no games. We're not getting them. Period. We're not going to get them. So, hey, Google got to get on this game and get better at its messaging. Definitely. I've already outlined that. But, believe you me, y'all better get out of Reddit. Y'all better get out of y'all holes. Y'all better get out of your bubbles. And you better highlight these lies and you better shut them down. Because if you don't, then this two-pronged war, which involves mindshare, we're going to lose. And you know what? There won't be no more Google Stadia. If they can't even get the multiplats, if they can't get the multiplats, what viability does the system have? So all of you out here, you better act with a better sense of urgency. Don't just slyly, oh yeah, these people say this and do that and it's not true. Be specific. My homies at Generation stated they were specific. He put it out there on the screen. He gave you specific examples. He shot down that lie. I then created a video off of that. It's airing tomorrow. Then hopefully somebody else will create a video after that, and so on and so on. That's how this is going to work. Trust me. Take it from somebody that came from where you came from, that really didn't want to get in this muck, but realized that it was necessary, that you had to travel through the muck in order to get to a better destination. There was no alternative route. Like it or not, there is no alternative route. I'm in special DMs now with a lot of big YouTube names, with a lot of who's who out there on YouTube and social media. I'm in a lot of private DMs with these people. And I will tell you that they were ready to backhand Stadia from day one. And what they were doing is they were rallying their troops. For every one MM2K, there's 20 of them. Now in the DMs, I would backhand the crap out of them. But all they got to do is go out to their Twitter feeds and spread a lie, and all of their followers are spreading that same lie. I go out there, I send a response. It's just me out here. That's how mind share works, like it or not. Wake up. You have to, it's a balancing act. Keep the pressure on Phil Harrison and company, but when you guys see a lie, you better expose it. And if you need to, tag me on it. Because if somebody responds, if you follow my content, if somebody responds with a lie, I will argue with them to the death. But do not let these lies slide. Because they're getting passed around. They're getting passed around like chiclets. And everybody's chewing on them. And these companies are seeing that. And they're like, Stadia is a pariah right now. But meanwhile, you're like, where are the games? The games are sitting in the closet somewhere because they're afraid to develop them. So understand, look at this from 5,000 feet, y'all. Y'all have a role to play too. Get busy and get with it. Now on to my chat. Zero Gamer for me says, I am a fan of Stadia. You buy or claim a game and get to play it right away. Absolutely. Charles Aran says, when I encounter haters, I direct them to where they can get. Absolutely. Charles Aran, that's what I've done too. Do that, but in combination with that, and when I say y'all, I'm not talking about just the regular gamers. I mean, yeah, the regular gamers too. We have to get out there in the trenches, but I'm talking about some of these other YouTube personalities. Some of these people that got channels, they want to just hide in their bubble, and that's not going to work. This platform is going to get decimated. It's going to get decimated. I am telling you now, I am in DMs with some of the more popular YouTube entities. And I can tell you right now, they're locked and loaded. Every time there's good news about Stadia, they are locked and loaded to shut it down and mow it down. And this community is not about facts. It is about the more engaging and entertaining point of view. It's not about facts, it's about points of view. And points of view are not synonymous with facts. So whenever somebody does what Tom Warren does, you ain't got to be in your face like how I was, but point it out. We've heard somewhere that the only entry point into Stadia in the future is through a paid tier. There's not going to be a free tier anymore. What is the community's thoughts on that? And then tag a bunch of Stadia people. Every time I come across when I was dealing with Tom Warren, I kept tagging all the Stadia entities and outlets that I knew. So they can be abreast and so they can chime in if necessary. This is a two-pronged war out here. like it or not. And if you want to get to the promised land, in between us where the promise in the promised land is muck. I'm sorry, it's there. And there's no escaping it. Charles Arand said, we've steered away from gameplay and gone more technical minded, focusing on resolution frames and such. Soundwave 1 says, over time, Stadia will advance above local hardware. Data centers are just too powerful and advanced compared to a small console box or PC. Big ups to Stadia Source. Thank you for joining. Stadia Source says, put the video in the comments. Let me see here. Which video was I talking about? Oh. Yeah, from Generation Stadia. Hold on. Yeah, let me do that. It was a great video. It's a great channel. See if I can find it. I'm looking for it right now. Bear with me. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, but big ups to Generation Stadia. Great channel as well. Let's see. Find it. Well, now I can't find it all of a sudden. Uh-oh. Okay, here it goes. Come on, Google. You can do better than that. Let me share directly from the... Putting it here in the comments. The Generation Stadia video reference. Hey, Chariot Man Gaming, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Reference. We're out here trying to fight the good fight, man. But we gotta be fully abreast and fully aware of what we're dealing with. Yes. I'll put it right here. Then once the video's over, I'll put it in the comments as well. We got to be fully abreast of what we're dealing with. It's a two-pronged war out here. When people let their executives of their console of choice get away with murder, they're going to keep killing. So I heavily applaud this community for standing up, regardless of what they did, even if it was just a couple weeks ago that we were just singing their praises, for standing up and saying, no, this is not enough. That's fine. I love this community for that. That being said, unfortunately, I hate to say that, that's not enough. We got to fight these lies. We got to fight these lies. And we can only fight the lies when we expose them. Even if you don't, hey, look, even if you want to be indiscriminate about it, even if you want to be indiscriminate about it, and even if what you want to do is you want to take a photo, if you don't want to directly retweet it, and you just want to take a photo of it, and then take the photo and say this person's and scratch out their name or whatever, because you don't want to I get it. It's not the entity that's saying the lie. It's the lie itself that's the enemy. It's not the entity, because a lot of people think, there's a lot of unsuspecting people that think this stuff is true, and they're emotionally worked up because they think that they're getting it from a legitimate source. Again, a lot of people, and I'm going to tell you as a YouTuber, a lot of people don't understand this. They don't understand how this works. But this is social media. Everybody doesn't get fact checked. Most of these entities out here, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to keep it real. Most of these entities out here are frauds. I'm sorry. They're frauds. They are not based in fact. They are based in the perception that they give. They're not about spreading facts and spreading knowledge. Rather, they're based upon spreading a more compelling point of view. That's the name of the game for them. And because that's the name of the game for them, it's not better than fact. So when you know better, then you have to respond to it. Because when you respond to it with the facts, I might see something. Look, I can't follow everything. Like the buddy pass, not the buddy pass situation, when the free tiers coming out. Homie Charles Aran, make me aware of it. See how we share knowledge? So if you guys are more vigorous in combating these lies, not necessarily attacking the person, but combating the lies, take a picture of the lie and retweet it and something and say, look at this silly stuff right here. Or if y'all going to hide out in Reddit, at least do that. Because what happens is, I'm going to tell you, a big discussion that happened in these DMs is a major YouTube figure said to me, MM2K, you're making yourself look foolish out here. You look like a fool. And I said, how's that? They said, nobody's talking about Stadia. I swear there might be like a couple of hundred of y'all. Nobody's playing Stadia. I said, a couple of hundred? I said, you can't be serious. So what they did is they went to went to Twitter, pulled all this. They just put in Stadia in the search engine and boom, they were riddled with a lot of negative stuff. So I said, well, hold on. Here's your problem. Well, I was playing Borderlands 3, so I just watched them and the people in the DMs laughing. M2K's doing it again. He's looking like a fool. And I was just playing. I'm just sitting there laughing. I said, wait till I get done. Finished the mission, came back and said, all right, now it's my time to embarrass you. And I put in hashtag Stadia and came up with all of the positive stuff. And I said, when people are positive about something that's being ridiculed and they're not trying to come to the forefront, they're going to hashtag it. I said, don't forget, Twitter is an algorithm of the people and the perceptions that you follow. That's what they're going to show you. Just putting in Stadia alone, you're going to get this garbage in your search results. You got to put in hashtag Stadia to get it a more definitive result. And the response to me was, oh, wow, that's scary. I said, yeah, it's scary how stupid you are. No, I didn't say that. I said, yeah, the truth is scary. But you see what I mean? We're fighting a perception war. People are putting in Stadia, they're Googling Stadia, and they're getting all these negative results. And they're like, oh man, this thing is a pariah. I know I've said that 1,000 times, but I'm going to keep saying it to y'all until it soaks in. But y'all hiding out on Reddit. People can't see that. They can't see that in their Google search results, all like that. It's not at the top of the list. Y'all got to come out of the shadows. Expose these lies. I'm going to go back to the chat. Zero Gamer says, I love this channel. Very informative and entertaining. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. But I can't fight this war alone. And y'all ain't gotta do the new jitsu like your boy. You ain't gotta do the twirling spin kick like me. You ain't gotta do it like that. Y'all entry in combating these lies can be more strategic. Like I said, take a snapshot of the lie, retweet it. You ain't even gotta show the person's name. Can you believe this foolishness? Here's the truth. Boom, 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 boom. So by the time it goes to somebody that's willing to go in the trenches and somebody else repeats and regurgitates the lie, they can take a snap. That would have made its way around the internet. It'll be in the top of search engines. And then somebody will take that and say, oh, you spreading that stupid, idiotic stuff. Here's the truth. That's how this works. And again, if you want to get from where we're at to the promised land, where we know we should be because the performance of this platform is fantastic, you're going to have to go through the muck. There's a big river of muck separating us from the promised land. I'm sorry. I wish it was different. I wish we had jetpacks. I wish there was a highway or ropes that we could swing. They just don't exist. We got to go through the muck. Period. All right. Enough of that. Enough of that. Let me go through the chat. Y'all really active today, and I appreciate it. And my homie at Stadia Source, he says, when the video is finished, as won't me here. It's Xbox has been around longer, so of course it has more to offer and probably will for a long time, but hopefully Stadia one day will be able to catch up to that. We hope so. We hope so, and we appreciate that, Stadia Source. Thank you so much. Um, let's see here. Next thing. Okay, now I'm done yelling at everybody. I love you guys. I love you guys, but I think we were losing focus on looking at this from 5,000 feet. Okay. Back to the situation at hand. Let's do this. Stadia Source. Wonderful site, man. Wonderful site. There's so many wonderful sites. I love Share Stadia too. So many wonderful sites out there. Check them all out, man. You can't. There's nothing wrong. There's no such thing as too much knowledge. There's no such thing as too much knowledge. And all these great sites provide knowledge. Now, Stadia Source is highly interactive. They connect you with your games and what you played and all this other. I love this site. I love this site. And there's some great people behind it that are maintaining it. Right? Now, one of the things that I learned via this site, which I am so gracious of, and I want to show you guys today, is January Stadia has been started to land in people's emails. Okay, so there is something coming out. Dan, big ups to Dan Willer. That's news. He said there's a newsletter that started landing in people's emails. So that's good. So definitely check that out. I don't want to spoil that for y'all. I'm not going to show that article here because I want y'all to actually go on the site. I'm going to put a link to the site right here. I want y'all to go on the site because they deserve that y'all go there and they deserve that you give them that hit. And I want y'all to read that article. But check that out. Newsletter is out. Breaking news. Go to stadiasource.com and check out that article. Okay. Just put the link to that in the chat. That being said, Duncan, big ups to my homie Duncan. Duncan! Check out his site. He did something 2 hours ago. Why are we thinking we need a Stadia Connect urgently? We just talked about that. Here's what I wanted to focus on, though. It's this. The Stadia Chrome extensions, right? For those of you that don't know, if you're gaming on a browser, you have the ability to use the Stadia Chrome. I mean, you have the ability to use Chrome extensions to add things, and there's also Chrome extensions that serve to enhance your Stadia experience. The first one in particular, they're talking about there's an extension that adds a clock guide menu, and to when you hit the what's it called? Let me see. Okay, see that right there. So there's that extension that adds this clock guide menu to when you hit the menu button. There's a game filter. I'm not quite sure what the game filter does. Oh, okay. You can select a game. Okay. It's a game filter that this adds. That's cool. And in addition to that, there's a network monitoring thing. Now, this thing is awesome. Oh, this thing is awesome. And tweet this out, guys, so people know that we're live. Tweet this out. I'm going to send this out to Facebook too. We were rocking and romping with with up to like 12, 15 people, and we're back down to 5, which is fine. But very important message here. All right. Bruh. Oh, look at this. So this tells you frames per second, this codec VP9 that I want to talk about, and gives you a lot of information, latency, all that stuff right there. Okay. So you can get that when you add that add-on. Stadia RPC, which is another one, gives you the Google Chrome extension that allows people to see what games you're playing in Discord. So you know how, when you're playing certain games in Discord. Discord will show it. Well, now you can see the Stadia games via this add-on. Here is the big one that I wanted to focus on, and this VP9 encoding. Okay. Let me do this because I want y'all to go to the article. I'm not going to read the article word for word because, again, I want y'all to go here. These people deserve this hit. I'm not going to take the hit away from them. Y'all need to go check out this article. So I'm not going to read it word for word here. But what basically is VP9 encoding is an encoding method that gives you better fidelity from what, if I'm understanding this correctly. It gives you better fidelity. All right. And currently what Stadia does via the browser is it forces you to do H.264 encoding. For those of you that render video via Adobe Premiere or whatever you use, Sony Vega, y'all know what that is when you create your videos and you upload them to YouTube. Okay. But VP9 gives you better fidelity. Okay. So what you have to do is two-tier. You have to go. I'm going to show y'all right now. Y'all got to go and download this script. It's called Tamper Monkey, and there's a link to the script in the article. So definitely check out the article. When you install the script, it looks like this. Take y'all to the dashboard. When y'all install the script, it looks like this. I currently don't have any scripts installed on this particular browser, but I'm about to install one right now. So what you do is whenever you want to install a script, you hit this plus button. This plus button will allow you to install a script. Now, here's what I did. I got to go to the right post. I thought I saved this, but I guess I didn't. There's a link to the post in here. That's not the right link. One of these takes you to because there's a link in here that gives you the code that you can use, but I want the 0.7 version. The 0.7 version, this link will give you right here. When you come here and it says at this post, it'll give you access to the 0.7 version. So when I click on post and then I went there and clicked on the other post, and then I click here on this one, this is the 0.7 version. And as you can see here, I'm highlighting it. It says 0.7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of this. I'm going to hit Control A, Control C to copy all that. I'm going to go to that new Tamper Monkey script that I created, and I'm going to highlight everything, and I'm going to hit Control V and then paste it all there. I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to click Save, and guess what? It's active. And once it becomes active, it's enabled. And it says, and it tells you what sites it affects is Stadia. And what this 0.7 model does is that 0.7 model enables this VP9 encoding that looks a lot better. It enables that. And what it also does is it gives you everything that's here. They tell you, you get the time, latency, session time, and jitter buffer, and all other stuff. All that stuff that you saw. Where's that? Let me see if I can pull the image back out. All this network monitoring stuff that you see, you get all that included with the encoder now when you enable this. All right. So just so y'all see what I did, I just simply clicked the plus sign, created a new code, copied the code that was in that plus, make sure, and it says version 0.7. I made sure I got the 0.7 version. I copied it there, saved it, went to File, Save, and now it's enabled. And let's see here. It's also enabled. Should be enabled here. Yep. See that? And see, it's enabled here. I'm going to go to the dashboard here. It's going to show it again. Is it? Oh, okay. It's just referencing back. Okay. All right. Then when I play it, y'all are going to, oh, hold on. Oh, you know why it didn't work? Because it was supposed to be a message that was up there. It didn't work because I have to reset everything. Let's see. It might still pop up. Let's see if it pops up. Because it'll pop up in the upper left-hand corner. We'll see. We're going to see if it's going to pop up. But no, definitely. You're definitely going to want to try this. When I first tried it, the fidelity was like, I was like, whoa. All right, so it's starting up right now. Yeah, it's not there because it's, what I'll do, guys, is I'm going to exit out of here. Give me a moment. Okay. Give me a moment. How long have we been running? We've been running for over 2 hours. Okay, we're gonna cut this short soon. Give me a moment. I just want to show this to you guys. Just going through all these splash screens. You know, everybody got to get recognized. Okay, so it's not active right now. So let me quit. Let me go to the portal. Here's what I have to do. I got to shut down. Let me shut this down. Shut down Stadia. Not executed yet. Shut that down. Shut down all my Chromes. I got to shut down all my Chromes in order for this to work. Now we're going to open up. Stadia back up. There it goes. See that? Now I know it's working. All right. Y'all about to see. But let me first go back to, let me go to YouTube so I can pull y'all back up. Oops. That, and then I need to go to see the chat. Now, granted, Stadia Dosage. Do we get to start it? All right. You will soon see in the upper left-hand corner all my traffic information. Coming. Now, don't fret, because at the beginning what it does is it'll give you traffic information during the splash screens, and the splash screens will look like during 720 and all that stuff, right? But that's just the splash screen. You see all that stuff up there? There it goes. Look at it. It's giving you the frames and everything. See all that? And it's showing you how much data is being used. And you see up there in the upper left-hand corner where it says codec, it's showing me that it's the VP9. It's showing me the resolution. Let's take a look. It's giving you the compression information, all that cool stuff. So let's just take a look at it real quick. See what it looks like. I don't know if it's coming through on screen. Oh my gosh. It's already looks so much sharper. I'm just going to play real quick. Yeah, it looks so much sharper. But they give you the session traffic, how much data you're using, all that important information is up there. So I love this thing. Don't worry, I'm not going to turn this into a Borderlands stream, but I just want to show y'all. Just give y'all an example what we're dealing with here. You know, you got to wait for the assets to load. Okay. Assets are fully loaded. As you can see here, it's showing you the frames there. "60 frames per second. For those of y'all that don't believe me, look at that. That's a consistent 60. And I am streaming to YouTube while this is happening. And it's going down maybe to 58.9, went up to 63. You see this? Okay? All this is happening off a web browser. All off a web browser. Look at that. Shows you the jitter buffer, the latency. You know what I'm saying? Look at all that stuff. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm going to end it. But again, this is the stuff that we got to do to combat the naysayers, to combat the lies. But y'all saw it firsthand, right? Y'all saw that. Everything was right there at your disposal to see how it worked. And that looked great. That looked fantastic. Look at that. And it's hard to see on the screen, but all of that data on the left-hand side is giving you everything. Frames per second, showing you the codec, all that stuff, right? You get that all there. And with all that information there, and then with Taper Monkey, again, I can shut it off. I can shut it off. Just like that. I don't want it. So I wanted to highlight that for you guys because I thought it was important for you guys to see that there's some people in the community doing some great things. So definitely go to stadiasource.com and take a look at that and enjoy. Because it's fantastic. It's definitely fantastic. Okay, last thing that we're going to do before we get out of here, guys, because we're over the 2-hour mark. And I'm known to be long-winded, but I try not to go too far with the 2-hour mark. This kind of relates to what we were talking about earlier. StadiaSource.com. Go back to our friends at Stadia Source. All right, so here are the games. Here are the games that are currently out. We all know what's out, right? And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 times 8 is 21. So there's 21 games. And there's more. Hold on, there's more. Trials and Wolfenstein Youngblood. So there's no. Damn, I can't even count. What's 3 times 8? 3 times 8 is 24. So there's 26 games out there. See, back to games. I want to go, but here's the upcoming games. Gods and Monsters, Supercross 3, Watchdog Legions. That's no longer going to be March 20th. I think that got pushed back to 2021. We got Doom and Doom Eternal. That's going to be a big one. Destroy All Humans. So, I mean, opposite of Doom, the only other thing that's coming fresh to the system is Cyberpunk. Oh, no, the Marvel Avengers game. So that's big. That's big that's coming, too. So you got 3 big games. But that's not enough. For somebody like me, yeah, I'm cool. Cyberpunk 2077, along with continuing to play Ghost Recon Breakpoint and Borderlands, is okay with me. Okay? But that's not going to be okay with everybody else. They have to do more. They got to do more. And they're doing that soon. No, what I did, Charles, is I'm gonna show you again. There's this Taper Monkey. It's a plugin. So when you go to Stadia Source, don't have the links there. Go follow that link that I provided. Stadia Source. Go to stadiasource.com. Go to the news and look for the plugins, and then you gotta download this application or this plugin called And let me show you again. Do that real quick. Go down to this article where it says notable Stadia Chrome extensions at stadiasource.com. Go there. Click on the link. Go to the bottom where it tells you about Taper Monkey. Click the Reddit link to go get the click the Reddit link to get Taper Monkey. Because when I click the Reddit link, look, it took me here to Reddit, and then I can go get Taper Monkey. I can click on the Taper, and this is what Taper Monkey looks like. Go to the Chrome Web Store, or you can just go directly to the Chrome Web Store and type in Taper Monkey. Okay. Once you do that, once you install Taper Monkey, you're going to want to open Taper Monkey. Click on New Script. See how it says New User Script? Go back to that Stadia Chrome, what's it called? Post. Click on Post. Click on Post again. And then click on this one. Copy all this. Bring it here. Save it. Overwrite all of that with what you copied. Save it. Bada boom. Bada bing. Close out Chrome. Open it back up. It's a done deal. That's how I did that. Back to the games. So and then Elder Scrolls Online is coming, but again, this isn't enough. Change the controller, in my opinion. Big up to Devin got the box. You mean the Stadia controller? No, the Stadia controller, that's one that I love that thing. And I don't like the thumbsticks. I'm an Xbox guy. I don't like the thumbsticks being at the bottom, but the way that they spaced it, it feels natural. I actually like the Chrome controller. I like the feel of it, and it works good. Oh, no problem, Charles. I appreciate you being here, man. So they got to get more games, and we already talked about it. I yelled for about an hour and a half on what we got to do to ensure that they get more games. But Google, I've already talked to you guys what you got to do, but you guys don't make up the richest company in the world. So I'm going to put this back in Google's lap as well. Google has to go out there. They got to get more games. I know that they got the big ticket games for now, but they got to get some smaller, popular games. They were off to a good start with games like Darksiders Genesis. Darksiders Genesis is an excellent game, and it's actually more popular. It's actually more favored by gamers 1v1 than Destiny is, and I've already did a video on that. So they're going to have to go and, they're going to have to hit the pavement. They're going to have to get better games. But I think the most consequential games of 2020 are going to be Doom. That Doom at 60 frames per second, baby, that's going to be beautiful. Doom Eternal is going to be big. Marvel's Avengers, that's a big game. Cyberpunk 2077 definitely is the biggest. It'll be great to see Elder Scrolls Online on there. That's a big game. And I'm glad Bethesda is supporting the platform. But Cyberpunk 2077 is the biggest game on there. And what we also need to see, y'all, for the PC people. See, big ups to Devin got the box. Devin got the box. Dropping. I got bottles of pop and coffee everywhere. Devin got the box as part of the PNTS network. Devin, let me make you a mod. And that's my. What am I doing? Hold on, I'm trying to make you a mod. I'm in the wrong thing. Go to Devin's channel. You can click on the 3 buttons by his name and go to his channel. And if you go to Devin's channel, here, I'm going to do this. I want to go live. I want to go to live airing. Okay, come on. Telling my age, I'm singing come on. All right, here we go. All right. So, Devin got the box. Oh, man, I muted this. Okay. Devin got some great Xbox content on his channel and as a moderator. So if you're fans of Xbox, want to check out some of his game streams and stuff, go ahead and support my brother Devin. All right. So Devin asked, can you play Stadia without the Chromecast? Absolutely. You can play it on a web browser. What you just saw me doing, Devin, was off a web browser. So I just opened up Chrome and played it. I opened up Chrome and played Google Stadia off a web browser. And off a web browser, I get the culmination of better performance and great visuals. Again, it's not a 1v1 match off a dedicated device, particularly in 1080p. But when you combine the two and you're trying to stream a game, it looks so good. It looks so damn good. Check out my Borderlands stream here on this channel. It looks so damn good. So yeah, definitely, Devin. That's the versatility of this platform. The versatility of this platform is, when they say any screen, they literally mean any screen. Now, granted, Xbox has a stream feature where you can stream from your console, but it just isn't. It's too murky and mucky, and it just doesn't work well. It doesn't work well, and it's very, very resource heavy. Via the internet, you can play on your browser, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So definitely, check that out. And if you need a buddy pass, I can hook you up. I got connections, I think. Charles Duran says they need some free-to-play games. Yeah, man. I'm glad you brought that up. I did want to talk about that real quick. So big ups to the homies at Stadia Cast. They did a couple podcasts ago. They had talked about how they were hoping that Fortnite would come to the system, but it appears that Epic may be working with somebody else to do their own streaming thing. So Fortnite may not be coming. And that's a bummer, because you need a game like that to draw people over. A great supplement to that would have been Apex Legends, but I don't think EA is going to support the system. I think EA partnered with Steam, and Steam is trying to get off, is trying to launch their Steam Link thing, and they need whatever help they can get, because that Steam Link sucks. Ever since they made it to where it works out of network, it sucks. I don't like it at all. That being said, yeah, that's a hurt piece. So they need more free-to-play games, some big free-to-play games on the system. Fortnite would have been great. I don't see Apex Legends coming because I don't see nothing from EA here. And I think, again, EA signed a deal with Steam, and I think that deal is limiting them to not work with Stadia. That being said, that's where Ubisoft comes more into play. People like Devin got the box. He plays Rainbow Six every day, right, Devin? He plays it on PC too. So because he plays it on PC too, if he were to invest in Uplay Plus is coming to Google Stadia. Now when, I don't know. That's the big. I'm more curious when Uplay Plus is coming than a particular game. That's me personally. I need to know when Uplay Plus is coming to the system. And again, this is where I hope all the negative feedback didn't kill that deal. I hope not. Because all these games are releasing individually, but I don't see Uplay Plus coming to the system. Devin got the box says, because I got an older PC, not the greatest graphics card and whatnot. Would like to see that great picture on PC. If you could get me a pass, I'd love it. I'd love to try it, bro. Yeah. You don't need, again, the power is being run off the cloud. So you don't need a powerful PC to run these games and have them look great, and have them look great while you're streaming them. Stadia is a big thing for streamers. Again, I got a 2070. And I have the utmost problem running games that making them look good at 60 frames per second. Now, a lot of people want to, on these platforms, particularly YouTube, They want to see games at 1080 60. It's hard for me to omit and not power off of my 2070 card a lot of times. Games like Ghost Recon Breakpoint. But what Stadia does is the power of Stadia, it keeps it at a constant 60 frames per second. Off my 2070, I can't run Ghost Recon Breakpoint off of the PC platform at 1080 60. I can only do it at 1080 48. Or I can do it at 960. You see what I'm saying? So I either got to bump the resolution down to 900 or I got to bump the frames down to 48. And for those of you that stream on YouTube, y'all know that Twitch may support all the 98 frames per second, but YouTube doesn't. So when I bump it down to 900, YouTube says, we only deal in increments of 30. This is going to be, I'm sorry. And when I bump it down to 900, resolution-wise, YouTube says no. We don't do it's 720 or 1080. There's nothing in between. Oh, you bumped it down to 900, we're going to make that 720. There is no 900 resolution when it comes to YouTube. When it comes to 30 frames per second, if instead of 30, if I don't want to do 30, but I can't quite do 60, so I cap it off at 48, YouTube says, we don't know what this damn 48 frames per second is. It's 1080 30. So if I want to do 1080 60 consistently, y'all saw it there on Borderlands, then I have to do it on Stadia. Or go out and trade my memory card and pay another $800 for a 1080 Ti. You see what I'm saying? For $130, if I stream daily, I can now stream at 1080 60, no problems, from a web browser. Or I can go trade in my card and still drop it an additional $700 to get a 2080 Ti in order to do it at 60 frames per second. Wow. If that's not a seller, I don't know what is. Charles Arand says, I'm not buying Ubi games because I'm holding out for Plus. Yeah, that's it. I get you, brother. I get you. And I was thinking about that because here I done went and bought Ghost Recon Breakpoint and I got Uplay Plus. But I play it on PC. But I can't stream it. So all of my Twitch followers, they're like, MM2K, where you at, brother? But I can't stream the game because I just don't, I gotta have a 60 frames per second. And me bumping down the resolution to 900, I mean, that's all right, but why? Why I gotta do that? You know? So, that's what we need to see from Ubisoft. I mean, that's what we need to see from Google. I can't put that one in y'all lap. Like, we got to figure out, Ubisoft, come on, y'all. You were on stage with Google. Where is this Uplay Plus? Is it coming in January, February, what? Charles Array said, Devin, I game using Stadia on a 2012 UP. Yeah, man. Google, wherever they say they're supported, they truly work. This is no joke. This is no joke. All right, guys, we're officially at the 2.5 hour mark. Talk long enough. I hope y'all enjoyed this show. I hope y'all enjoyed the podcast. We're going to do this every week. Okay. You can check me out here, so please subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Also, if you subscribe to this channel, YouTube is acting real funny. People that are following smaller channels like mine, they're being removed. Like, people told me, they said, MM2K, I got removed from your channel. And they're doing it to people here too. So if you can do me a huge favor, subscribe, go to the right next to subscribe, click that bell and make sure that all is selected, not personalized. That way you'll get notified when I'm doing videos and when everything comes out. If y'all can do that, I'd highly appreciate it. And with that being said, Thank y'all so much for y'all support. This was episode 2 of the Stream Connect. Or no, you know what? I put that in wrong. That should be SSC. The Stadia Stream Connect podcast. Thank y'all very much. And y'all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.